If you're a trader, you definitely know the feeling. You spend all this time studying, you've got a system you believe in, but your account balance just isn't showing it. And at the same time, you open up your social media and it is just a constant fire hose of massive wins and picture-perfect charts. We've got to talk about this, because that gap, the one between the trading you see online and what actually works, it is costing you real money.
So let's just cut right to it. Here's the big question. Are those perfect social media trades you see, are they actually destroying your profitability? What if the very thing you're looking at for inspiration is the main reason you're struggling? It's not just some theory. For a lot of traders, it is the cold, hard reality. Let's break down exactly why.
Okay, first things first, we need to talk about the social media trap. It's time to pull back the curtain on what's really going on, because I can promise you what you're seeing online, it's not even close to the full story.
I mean, think about your feed. It's an endless scroll of highlight reels, right? Insane top-tick entries, life-changing profits, one after another. You see it over and over. And you just become overstimulated. Your brain actually starts to accept this as the new normal. This becomes the baseline for what a good trade is supposed to look like. And just like that, you've set yourself an internal standard that is completely and utterly unrealistic.
And this, right here, is the great deception. On one side, you see the perfect fantasy, right? The insane entries, the massive profits, the flawless charts, a feed where nobody ever seems to lose. But the unseen reality, that's what actually matters. We're talking years of failure, countless blown accounts, and a whole lot of emotional and financial struggle. Remember, people only post their wins. Nobody is posting their losses.
So, let's dig a little deeper, because this unrealistic standard you've accidentally absorbed, well, it doesn't just sit in your head. It actively kicks off a really destructive cycle of self-sabotage in your own trading. And this is the little voice it creates in the back of your head. You know, even when you logically know it's all just a highlight reel, that subconscious part of your brain starts whispering, hey, is there something wrong with what I'm doing? Why can't my trades look like that? Why can't I be like that person? This toxic comparison just eats away at your confidence. You know, this whole process actually has a name. We're going to call it the evil spiral. And it's this vicious, toxic loop. You see a so-called perfect trade online, you start to feel inadequate, and then that feeling, it drives you to make absolutely terrible decisions in the market. It's a predictable pattern, and trust me, it has wrecked countless trading accounts.
And the pattern is just dangerously predictable. Look, it starts when you see that perfect trade. So the next day, you're on the charts, but you're not looking for your setup anymore, are you? No, you're hunting for their trade. You force something that isn't there. You break your risk rules. And then, well, the inevitable happens. You blow the account, you feel awful. And then where do you go? Right back to social media for motivation. And boom, the whole evil cycle starts all over again.
So, the big question is, how do you break out of this? How do you stop the spiral? This is where we get to the solution. And it all starts with what we call the light bulb moment, a fundamental shift in your entire perspective. A move toward radical simplicity. And this right here is the light bulb moment. The realization that becoming a profitable trader is so much simpler than you've been led to believe. The path to profitability, it isn't about finding a more complex system or some secret indicator, it's the complete opposite. The real goal is to make your trading radically, almost ridiculously simple. So here's your path forward. And the key thing to notice is that it involves subtraction, not addition. You have to cut out the noise. Just stop comparing yourself to others. For God's sakes, stop strategy hopping. Pick one and focus entirely on your own rules. Because you need to realize if your system has an edge, the only variable left in the equation is you.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do we turn that mindset shift into a concrete plan? Well, this next part is all about a simpler daily routine you can literally start using tomorrow. This is your actionable plan for building real, lasting consistency.
First, we have to completely change our relationship with prop firms. Most traders treat a funded account like it's this precious, live account they have to protect at all costs. And that's exactly the wrong way to think about it. You need to think of it as a tool, a temporary leverage tool designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to help you extract capital so you can build your own funds. And the routine itself, honestly, it's almost boringly simple.
which is precisely why it works. You secure multiple funded accounts. You focus on one single, repeatable setup. You aim for a small, consistent, achievable target. You execute one clean trade, copy it across all your accounts, and then, and this is the most important part, you get out. You're done for the day. You walk away.
Now, let's actually look at the math behind this, because this is where it gets really interesting. Look, a $1,000 profit on one account, it's nice, but it might not feel life-changing. But when you leverage that exact same trade across 5 accounts, suddenly that's $5,000 in a single day. You do that just 3 times a week, and in only 2 weeks, you're looking at a potential $30,000 gross profit.
This is what real consistency builds. We're talking about a potential payout of over 25 grand a month. And how did you get there? Not by hitting some massive 1 in a million home run you saw on social media. Nope. You got there by patiently repeating a simple, almost boring process day in and day out.
All right, let's bring this all home with the most important idea of all. Profitability, not perfection. This is about completely redefining your goal as a trader. Your goal is not to look impressive online. Your goal is to get paid, period.
At the end of the day, you have to choose what you're optimizing for. Are you chasing those aesthetic trades for social media? You know the ones, catching the absolute high or low, holding for a crazy move. They look amazing in a video, but they're basically unrepeatable. Or are you executing profitable trades for your bank account? The kind that just execute your system's entry, take a quick, high-probability gain, and often look kind of boring. But guess what? They're consistent, they're repeatable, and repeatable is what gets you paid.
And here's the big secret that social media will never, ever tell you. The truly profitable traders, the ones quietly pulling 6 figures, 7 figures out of the market, they're quiet. They're not on Twitter flexing their wins. And you know why? Because they don't need to. Their account balance is all the validation they need. Their focus is on their own execution, not on getting likes from you.
And this quote, this sums it all up so perfectly. Trading isn't easy, but it's simple. Just think about that for a second. The execution, the discipline, the psychology, man, that stuff is hard. That's not easy. But the actual process you follow every day, that can and absolutely should be incredibly simple.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought. For months, maybe even for years, you've probably been searching for that one missing piece, right? That complex secret that's finally going to make you profitable. But what if you've been looking in the completely wrong direction this whole time? What if the answer isn't more complexity, but a radical, disciplined return to simplicity?